Hello and welcome back to Chef Live. Today we will be fixing the RVM cookbook. That is, unless anyone else has anything for me they want to see, we're just going to jump right into it straight after our pre-flight checks. So we've got a bunch of people hopefully over on LinkedIn, and we have our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/chef software. I'm streaming over on twitch.tv/Damacus, so DAMACUS. And we're also streaming. Welcome to people on Chef Software, so twitch.tv/Chef Software. Yes, welcome to everybody. So first thing I want to go and see really is where people are from today. I'm gonna like ease into it nicely too, because we've got a gnarly cookbook to try and fix. So let's see where people are from. I know we're at IST friendly time at the moment, so I'd love to see who is kicking around. I'm wondering whether one of those people is about on Chef Software. So let me know who you are. Well, not even who you are, just let me know where you are around the world. I'm super interested every time we see it, where people are tuning in from. So we could look up at Twitch. So yeah, we've got Chambers. Thank you very much, Chambers, for joining us today. Anyone else around, just give us a shout out on LinkedIn. I can't actually chat back to you directly from our streaming software because it's read only. So if you want to join in more regularly and you want some sort of feedback and you want to chat to us, the nicest way of doing that is probably through twitch.tv/chef software. But let's just do our pre-flight checks firstly. If you are not following us on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter on /chef or at chef. I am at Dan_web. I managed to nab that many years ago. It's actually my name. It's not my usual gamer handle or online handle. I usually stream with Kaya, so I'll be streaming later tomorrow with Kaya between 3 and 4 p.m. GMT. I will time buddy those in a second. Let's figure out what time people are in, and I can translate those times for you. So if you want to follow Quiet Car on Twitter, she's Black Girl CTO there, and you will find me mostly on the community Slack Bing link at the bottom there. Any of these links you want, again, let me know. And Discourse is where you can find our forums, our hot forums, and nice friendly chat people there. And I may be going to the docks today, as in documentation, not the shipyard. There will be no shipping today. There's no container. Oh, there may be some shipping today because we are playing with containers. So yeah, there we go. And Code It Live are not live at the moment, but Code It Live are one of my one of our friendly neighborhood progressors. They stream almost every day. If you like live coding and a super friendly community, head on over there. They're lovely people there. And like I suggested before, if you're not following us over on YouTube as well, and you enjoy seeing all of the stuff we put out on LinkedIn or Twitch, that kind of stuff, then another one of those places is YouTube. Cool. Enough with the preamble. Where did we get started? Where did we finish last week? So just bring up the cookbook. I decided I wanted to store 1 ruby. I mean, that's not a very helpful to-do list, is it? Really? I mean, really, Dan? Could you not have tried a little bit better with my to-do list? So I decided when I was thinking between streams, occasionally I do this thing called thinking, that we've got an RVM cookbook, but we've got the Ruby RVM cookbook as well. So what we want to do is figure out what the RVM cookbook does differently to the Ruby build cookbook and the Ruby RVM cookbook. So they're both very similar Ruby version managers. They manage Ruby on your machine, whether it's your workstation, your local workstation, or up in the cloud or something like that. So they're doing super similar stuff. So I wonder if we could just nav my code from the other place and just have this working. So first things first, we've got some documentation. Fine. I stubbed that documentation last time. We've got some so-called CI config. We don't really care about that anymore, probably, so we can probably just delete the circle CI config. It's less noise to be worried about. Hey, people on my channel, welcome today. If you've got anything that you want to go see, chef related or not chef related, so I can probably talk about GitHub Actions because we're going to be playing a lot with GitHub Actions today. Then let me know, and I can switch it up pretty easily. So what have we got? So we've got some. This is our CI workflow. It's a very generically named workflow. So on pull request, on push to branches, main. Run through this. We do run chef delivery. Do I want to fix this now? Yeah. Let's see if that works. So chef. Yeah, there we go. Right. So GitHub Actions has a thing called reusable workflows, and I've just released, and I'm going to play with them a second. So I'm just clicking in the background to go and grab our job. So reusable workflows are a nice way of me deleting a ton of YAML. So jobs delivery, like there we go. Thanks very much. Goodbye all of that code. So this lint unit YAML lives in another repo over in .github, and then it's under the GitHub folder workflows. If you are using reusable workflows, you can reuse them from the same repo that you're playing with right now. So it could be under our .github workflows folder, and we could call another workflow, and we could just reuse that workflow. The version number here can be a char or a version tag, and those kind of things. So it allows us to version which reusable workflow we're using at the time, which is kind of cool. That means that when I push changes to the lint unit YAML, I won't break automatically, which is nice. And because I tend to use Semver, then we've got a bunch of because I've got Semver, then we words. I'm just surprised by the bunch of people who are just tuning in. Let us know what you want to see. If you have got some stuff that you want to go and see that I'm not talking about right now or yammering about now. So what was I saying? So the sous chef repo, the sous chef's organization repo, folder, file name, and that's a version number. So we're just using 001 for now. That tag exactly. Can also use chars. As I was talking to Jason earlier on, so Jason's one of the other very active sous chef members. We both don't really like chars. He hates them even more than I do because they're not very user friendly and they're not easy to read. I tend to use them when I haven't made a version number yet. So we've got this lint unit workflow. Wonderful, thanks very much. If anyone wants to see that, let me know. Right, so I really must stop watching my numbers go up and down because, it's distracting. So we've got our integration workflow needs workflow. So actually, this just needs lint-unit now because of the job. So before, let me see this. So we have before integration needed markdown lint, YAML lint, and delivery to finish, and those are all separate jobs within the workflow. As we're now using reusable workflows, the reusable workflows in like those three jobs. So we've actually moved markdown lint, YAML lint, and delivery into usable workflow by itself. We then just call. We just want to require lint-unit to finish. So again, deleting some code, getting the same benefits. So that's quite nice. The nice thing about this workflow here is I can change this lint unit workflow to use a GitHub action, and then anyone else who's pulling it in, I just need to go and change this one version number here to pull in the new version of it, which is cool. I haven't then got to go and say, oh yeah, can you then pull in? You need to go and change these 15 lines of YAML, or do the 15 lines of YAML change at one place, and then repoint our reference, which is cool. blah, 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 and then we'll see today we'll be using our Dokken provider. Dokken might be getting some Podman support in the next few months, which is cool. Same months, it might be weeks, it might be days, but we'll see. So we've got our kitchen sorted. We don't need that. So documentation. Right. Berks file. I do want to fix this Berks file to use policy files at some point. That might be a different stream. It might be a super quick end of this stream. We've got some recipes. We've got a default recipe. If you've met me before, if you've seen me streaming before, you'll know I hate default recipes. So let's get rid of that for a second because we are going to delete this. Chef Gem RVM install. So, hang on, what? No. Is there a Ruby gem? Oh, no. Oh, hang on, I didn't realize this was a thing. Right, let's go and have a look. Is there a Ruby gem for RVM? Yeah, but it's old. It's really old. It's like you can't see that. That is super old. So it was last updated in 2014, which is 8 years ago. So we'll not be using that again. Okay, so no to using the gem. What did the gem do? I guess that's the thing. No, Wayne sequence. So actually, the RVM maintainer made it. So maybe he just... What did it do? I don't know what it does. Does anyone know what it does? Does anyone know what it does? No. No one knows what it does because it's like the worst description. It's a Ruby Environment Manager, RVM, Ruby Gem Library. No, not what. So require RVM, and then use a gem set. Use from path. Okay. So no, not really sure what we're playing at. Does anyone on LinkedIn have any idea what's going on? I'd love to hear from anyone on LinkedIn because that was all weird. That was weird. Have a quick look on the comments. Hopefully, nobody knows on the comments what it does. So let's play with that then. So we do a Chef Gem install. Fine, pretty simple. Then we require the RVM gem. Thank you. Then we do this. Create RVM shell chef wrapper. What? That's not even a method. I guess maybe if I go into our... Did I delete the libraries? So a quick look before I reshare the screen. RVM cookbook. Just going to bring it up in the background. It's going to see me unshare and reshare. There's a libraries. No. What? Chef wrapper? What on earth? Maybe it's in the gem? What on earth? But I don't... what? So I'm just going to let that search in the background. Oh, code. Oh, yes. So the only people I can see that use this on GitHub are the people who have forked us. Forked. That's interesting. Yeah, the only people I can see who use this this line, this create RVM shell chef wrapper, are the ones who have copied the code, forked it, copied it. Wow. But it doesn't do anything. Okay, so Dan, what does it do? It doesn't do anything then. If anyone would like me to stop talking to myself, it does a gem install, but we've done a gem install already though, doesn't it? Because the gem install is there. So thank you, person talking from Twitch. I really appreciate that because I feel like I'm going crazy. So this does a gem install, but the gem install's up here, and then the RVM gem is enabled there, and then we do this. Create RVM chef user environment. So let me talk about. So these are just So check any lib directories. So there are no lib directories anymore. So let me share the original cookbook before I deleted the lib directory, because you might be like, well, damn, you deleted the library directory. Of course it's not going to work. Of course you're not going to see anything. You are correct. You are correct. I did delete the library directory. But the libraries directory, which is where... I'll step back a second. Through has a lovely suggestion, which is what I was talking about a second ago, was check if there's any lib. So those are just methods. So the create RVM chef shell wrapper, which is aptly named and very well, it's quite descriptive, so it's quite nice. Is just a method, and usually to just use methods and include methods and that kind of stuff, you just dump them in the libraries directory, and then voila, you've got them most of the time. However, in our libraries directory, we've just got a provider and a resource for RVM Ruby, which was the start of a refactor. I'm not going to call this a refactor. I think I'm probably just going to call it a burn it to the ground and start from scratch. But I need to know what we're burning to the ground before we rebuild it. So we make it, we actually make the right thing. But it doesn't do anything. There's like LDBRP base, provides, there's nothing in there with that method. Reshare my folder. I'm just going to search for, yay, see me searching for this flipping thing. So RVM chef shell wrapper is only in this folder, this file. So fine, and I'm going to guess the same thing for this other method. Yeah. So there's no lib directory. We deleted it. The lib directory only had those two files in it, which we've converted into a resource. Although to be honest, there was no resource to convert. They didn't do anything. So it's kind of gone in the bin. RVM command wrap helper into resources. I feel like that gem did something magical. Let me just double check a second. No. So it's interesting. The gem is interesting, and it did a bunch of work that I'm gonna basically rehash. So we'll go into the gem. So if you've never seen a gem before, this might be interesting. Gems usually have a gem spec and a gem file usually, but there's no gem file in here, so whatever. The library directory or the lib directory is where we'll store most of our code. The entry point is usually the name of the gem, so RVM in this point. So gem set or gem file, and then that points to a bunch of library files, and usually you just point to one file, and then that file then includes a bunch of other ones. So our rvm.rb includes a few lines of comments, and then errors shell environment version, and then nothing. Oh, method missing. Go away with your method missing fun. Let's make this big again, because you probably want to go see what's on my screen, considering you've tuned in. So let's go out of here and then go to RVM, the RVM folder. This is where the magic's happening. So the environment, the RB, there's nothing chef related in here. So I don't know how we've managed to do that. I reckon this is some magic, So there's create RVM shell. I wonder if that's a method. Initialize, inspect. No, nothing interesting in there. Anything interesting in there? Oh my goodness me. What on earth? This is huge. This gen did a lot of stuff. Wow. So I'd rather not use this gem because it's 8 years old and hasn't been... I'm genuinely not okay with things that haven't been touched in 8 years. But is it deprecated? It's not. Right. Okay, so that issue was fixed ages ago and the pull request done. Oh, so it actually fails the Ruby 223. Oh, we're on 3.0. So this is the reason why I didn't want to use it. I guess is Rails. Ruby changes so often over the last few years. We're on a new major version. So skips to no. Okay, fine. So we're not going to use it. Let's get back out of that rabbit hole. Oh, that was a nasty rabbit hole. Let's go to the CFL RVM. I want to ignore. I mean, we've got it. Git history is fine. So I'm just going to delete it. Bye. So we're specs, libraries, RVM. So that's the provider spec. We're going to call this resources, and we'll make a test for this now. RVM, and we don't need any of these things, and we'll just comment it out for now. We stubbed a test out, so we can go make some more tests in a bit. That'll be really helpful because if we're iterating real quickly on resources and making sure that I've not typed it anywhere, then chef spec will come in really helpful. When it comes to actually running the code and doing putting RVM on the box, I'm actually just going to use Test Kitchen because it'll be quicker. So, I think I need to do some research about RVM versus Ruby RVM. Ooh, words not happening. So test fixtures, integration. So what I want to do is system install, user install, and Vagrant. Group RVM. So yeah, there's an RVM group that's created, and we add Vagrant to it. But we also want to go and add the Vagrant user. unfold that, please. Thank you. User. So let's just bring up the Ruby build cookbook for a start, I guess. That's probably not a bad thing to do. So Ruby RVM. So I'm going to keep switching between windows. So my RVM cookbooks here, Ruby builds here. So in our test cookbook, where are you? Integration, no, fixtures, recipes, Docken. Hello. So what I'm doing here, so Docken isn't Vagrant, but we want the Vagrant user everywhere. So we're gonna add the Vagrant user, add the Vagrant group with with Vagrant as the members. Make sure that home directory is there. So I'm going to just copy that file. So RVM test fixtures recipes test. It's not really what I wanted. RVM. Let's try again. There we go. Bro. So we've got our Vagrant file. So our Vagrant file, our Docken Ruby file to install Vagrant and stuff like that, not to make sure Vagrant's there. We do not need that one. Include recipe Docken. To be honest though, I might just whack this. Over here. So we've got all the user stuff in there. So we've got your system install, user install, fine. System install, RVM Ruby 3, and the default install should probably be a system install. So I wonder how we've done this with RVM. So system install for RVM, I'm going to get my words mixed up in a second. So recipes, global, system install. There we go. So let's keep that up. That system install. So RVM system install. And I'm going to put the version number there. What was the before? Oh, that just installs RVM into the system. So let's just do that. It's not just installs RVM. And then we're going to install an RVM Ruby. So how do we do that? Down here, system install, just install system. Oh, so we don't actually install a Ruby at that point. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy these recipes because I suspect it's going to end up looking a lot similar. So I'm going to delete the recipes folder. Maybe. System install, RVM Ruby, user install, I think. Whatever, fine. Oh, we'll move that out for a second. Recipes, delete. Thank you. Test, paste. This is the exciting stuff you came here for. Me copying and pasting, figuring out what's wrong. X, Docken, let's get rid of that second. Bam, bam. And we've got our RVM fix there again. Cool. I'm going to skip over some of this stuff. If I skip over something that you want to see, let me know. I'm going to take a quick breather a second. So, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make the RVM cookbook look like the RVM cookbook, because it's basically the same. It's totally not the same. Honest. RVM. Honestly, it works super similarly. So what we're going to do is make it like we're going to make the whole thing look pretty similar. So install RVM. Let's start there. Okay. How do we install RVM on a machine? So we need our GPG keys. So we can, right. So Ubuntu's got a package. All the other systems, it's a curl bash. So we're not doing that. I wonder what. This is. So that's so the install script is huge, right? Okay. So this is the curl bash because of course it's curl bash. So RVM install initialize. So initialize, make sure it works. Blah blah blah. RVM install. Oh, this is huge. Right. Okay. So, I'm not going to take you through a bash script. I mean, that's just nasty. I feel like that's torture. I'm going to quickly read this a second. So, installation explains, so the single user installation is recommended for an isolated install within a user's home directory, i.e., not for root. Okay, so this is actually quite handy. So let's share this Chrome tab. Installing RVM. This is the explain section. This is the hell I end up getting into, trying to fix cookbooks. It's like, how does the underlying system work? And this is the hardest thing. Like, if you're using any configuration management tool or cloud management tool, a lot of the time you need to really deeply understand the underlying system first, like how it actually even installs. So I haven't installed RVM for probably, we've been talking about 8 years about the minute. Probably 8 years. It's been a really long time since I've installed RVM. I usually use Ruby RVM because there's some really nice stuff in there. So RVM is kind of fallen by the wayside for me. But I feel like there's a bunch of other people using it. And is there anyone online at the moment who actually uses RVM and is being a bit sad that it doesn't work? I'm going to sip my tea whilst you and yes, I made tea because it's the morning still. Well, that's some terrible tea though. Never mind. I didn't let it brew long enough. So let me know if you use RVM at all. So single user installations. So maybe we should start there. So recommended. So multi-user installations for server administrators. Actually, there we go. You use RVM. That's interesting. And do you still use the RVM cookbook that we're in the middle of breaking today? So do you use it on your just your workstation or just servers? Multi-user installations. So for server administrators, for installation usable by all users in the system, please note that single user supersedes multi-user. This is also called a system-wide install. So RVM system install, that's pretty fine. This type of install without knowledge how UMasks work is a big security risk. Fun. Fine. It's going to be interesting because I don't use UMasks that much. So there we go. Mixed mode installations for an installation usable by all users on the system with isolated. That's exactly what we want. So if an installation usable by all users on the system with isolated rubies gem sets within a user's home. So yeah, that's probably what we want. So install it to a common location and then everyone has their own gem sets. That's actually ideal. Installation instructions are exactly the same as for multi-user. The difference is in the user's environment. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to go and grab that. So to do, I can type honest. So use a lovely. Now what to do? RVM.io is a redirect to the curl bash script we were just not reading a second ago. We'll use the full path for the installer, so it will just you can use the non-redirect. Recommend reading the installation script yourself. This will give you a chance to understand stuff. I like stuff. Installing the stable release version, so whatever. Fine. Oh my god, we might actually have to go and read the. Oh, so annoying. Okay. So the multi-user install must be prefixed with the sudo command. We're running as root anyway because we're running chef, so that's probably fine. However, once the install is complete and the instructions to add users to the RVM group is followed, user either sudo or RVM sudo. The use of either sudo or RVM sudo is no longer required. This is why I don't use RVM anymore. Yeah. The sudo command is only temporary to evaluate predators, so we can use the installer. And just needs to put some stuff in some fancy places, probably. Some part of the install directions were not properly followed. That's interesting. So we need to run it as a non-privileged user rather than root. Otherwise, stuff breaks. I might have to do this offline because this might end up me just swearing at the computer for a while, and now I need to explain to somebody today. So again, it's on a specific version, debugging the install process. Fine. A single user install location if the install script is run as a standard non-root. Okay, non-root user, RVM will install to the current user's home directory. Fine. Multi-user install. If it's prefixed with sudo, RVM will automatically install to user local RVM. I guess I could just do this. I mean, let's start there, shall we? System install. What else? System install. Okay, so get rid of that. We don't need this anymore. Right. I'm not a happy bunny today, apparently. It's. Right, so we've got our install. We're probably going to have a couple of shared properties between the system install and the user install. And there's probably going to be, I don't know, a thing that changes between the two. I could use just RVM install and then install type do something else. But I don't want to do that. You don't get to use don't get to use resource partials, and resource partials are just you get to include. So you kind of make a half resource with all the properties and things, and then you can include that file, and you get those properties for free, which is kind of cool. and you just include those in multiple places, and you have code deduplication for free, which is cool. Property. Let's just do some typing, and then maybe. So key server. Server is that one. So that's the string, and the default is that. So new underscore. Get away. New resource dot key underscore server. Home directory. Oh. Ugh. So property GPG home dir. Again, just a string, and we'll default that to GNU PD. Right. Okay. Okay. And if people want to override it, then that's fine. New underscore resource dot GPG. And there. And then GPG key. Well, we won't do this because right, let's make that a bit easier. So add the GPG key, command key server, home directory, receive keys. Let's go grab that. RVM GPG key. This is going to be a new underscore resource dot GPG key. And that's the property GPG underscore key. Yeah, this is going to be the same for the two resources here. So if no one's seen me write custom resources before, I just like taking what I've got in recipes right now and just making properties of if you take a variable like I've got here, so the node RVM GPG key, we don't want people to set attributes and then change things within a recipe. So properties are our sort of our frontline defense, as a way you can change properties but don't change anything inside the recipe, inside the resource. So not if RVM GPG key is empty. So actually I'm going to get rid of this because it's never going to be empty because we're going to have a default. And only add the GPG. Only add GPG if I'll think about that in a second. GPG key. That's a very small GPG key. I'm pretty sure. No, so key server is going to be that. That's the current install instruction to that. Pull SKS key servers on that. And the two keys are these. Yeah, they're going to be a string. I forgot. ILB. I do a. So a equals a word array of A, B, and C. Just want to see this now. So I want. I will explain my thinking in a second. I've got basically an array of strings here. But so can I allow people to just put strings in or an array in? So I've got a there. So a dot to. Oh, that's nasty. That's not what I want. No. So I think we'll just have them. What do we think? Do we want to allow people to have an array of keys for the key server? Because that seems pretty nice. Or should we just make people put a space in between? A dot join. A dot each. That's fine. For each thing in A. Do. Okay, I'm going to say. Fine. And then A dot H do foo. Foo dot. No, I can't bother this. That. I don't know what's going on there with the really short key. So that's fine. We could ignore that. I've got some keys. Lovely. These are the new-ish key servers. I don't know why we're not using the GPG, junior GPG.net. So go figure that one out. If anyone's got any guesses why Wayne's secret is not using the junior GPT keys.net, I'd love, well, I say love to know. Be interested to know. Auto lib mode. Let's check what auto lib is. I think it'll be libraries for us. Oh, I hate this. So autolibs is a feature built into RVM to allow you to automatically install dependencies on your system. Thanks, I don't like it automatically installing stuff on my system. These dependencies are taken care of, so things like OpenSSL, YAML, you can also disable autolibs completely or do things in between like take care of it all or do nothing at all. So default mode is enabled. RVM can take care of this for the user. I mean, oh, why? Okay. Okay, so we're going to delete this because just to remind me that I'm going to delete this whole file at some point. I'm pretty sure the RVM gem options are no longer need to be no RI, no RDoc. I think it's just no doc. Regemmed no doc. There we go, no document. So that's the new one. I think new. It's not that new. Cool. So let's grab that. Our GPG key for here. GPG key. Thanks very much. And then the key server is that one. Server is that one. Good. Okay, so we've got the key servers, we've got GPG home directory. I'll fix this in a second because this looks like it doesn't really belong here. Key server, home directory. Maybe I'll use the GPG cookbook. Sous chefs. Slash GPG? I think it's GPG. Oh. Let me just go grab maintainers, custom resources. So we've got GPG install. So let's do that. GPG install. And then GPG key, generate a GPG key for a user. I want to add a GPG key. Install and key. I just realized I wasn't showing the right screen. Ah, no. Oh, no. So we've got about another 10 minutes left of this. Me meandering through this cookbook. We've got a little bit further. It's one of those analysis paralysis kind of situations, really. There's a lot to do. And where do we start? So we've you know, import key from file. It's not what we want. So guess who's adding another one? So receive keys. Interesting. So I'm just gonna home directory. Okay. So the GPG cookbook doesn't support at the moment adding keys by just using the -- receive or RECV receive dash keys option, which is kind of popular. It only supports installing. Ah, there was my magic. So I forgot. So if anyone has been tuning into any of our streams recently, and I was trying to figure out how do I add a name property, bingo, but then have it blank. So the GPG _ install method that you'll see over here somewhere. So the readme. So to get a custom resource to look like that without needing to just do space and then an empty and having to give it a name. So there's a couple of resources in Core Chef I don't need to do that with. App.update I think might be one of them. So custom resource without a name property on it. How do you do that? Well, if you go to resources, install, and GPG resources install, property, so the name, so the property called name, you give it a string and a default to blank. You can still give it a name if you want to. You can give it some sort of fancy ass name. It won't do anything because we don't call it. That's fine. So GPG packages, have GAD, and install that. And then action class, GPG helpers. What do we do? Key exists, shell out. Do we need that? Oh, packages. Just the helpers there. Fine, SUSE, GPG2, do you need GPG2? Okay, so this is an issue we can add. Oh, verify signatures. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. We'll add a feature request. And then ability to the ability to add keys via -- receive keys. This is our template. If you haven't seen the sous chef template before, I say our template, the sous chef template. I just happen to be one of those people who works over there. Does some work over there, so I can delete this. Problem statement. It is not currently possible to add keys to GPG via the receive keys option. Solution. And a receive keys. Your receive keys property to GPG underscore key. Yes. Okay, like, I mean, what's that GPG? I mean, do we need it in the resource? I'd rather not have it in the resource because we're just using keys. So batch name, override default king ring, pub ring file. User. This is generating key. So it's a key import. So we import key file. Okay, batch generate. Action import. Lovely. So we want to add not an import, a receive keys action. A receive keys action and property. So GPG2 import key. So the command is -- import. I wonder if that will just work though. No, it's key file. So GPG commands, whatever. What is the GPG command? Okay. GPG2. Oh, we don't have a key server option in there, so we don't have key server. Home directory isn't the thing we do have in there. Receive keys. So GPG command also needs to optionally accept. Does that really? So I think we'll leave this one until next time, and we'll have a look at how to add a new action to this. Describe alternatives not doing it. Other alternatives that I've described, I think at the moment. Continue. Yeah. Might actually be helpful. Being slightly sarcastic here. This is Ruby. I mean, whatever. Context. No, that's like the worst thing ever. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. So describe my alternatives. So we don't do it at all. Continue shelling out. And this is how we shell out. That'll give some context on when we add that feature to GPG2. And any pull requests? Yeah, I'd say we're making a pull request right now. So let's just quickly jump over, get our RVM. We don't have a pull request with the mess we are currently making. So let's do that and pause there, I guess. So do window and then system install, share that stuff. So I don't need that. Check out switch -c. So if you're used to doing git checkout -b, so git checking out to a new branch, git switch is that new idiom, as it were. So git switch -c, and then convert to custom resources. Just add everything. Yeah. And let's make this bigger so we can all see all the mess that Dan is making. In files from Ruby RVM stubs for new resources. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. What else are we going to do? So, put in files, add some doc stubs for new resources, update, read me. Oh my god, if any of you heard that, I apologize. My stomach is going mad. So, some other stuff I will we'll make more about, make a meal of that later on. Let's just quickly squiz this. Well, let's so if no one's made a draft PR before and you have no idea what you think what a draft PR is, I'll show you quickly. So draft PR, so actually we're going to call this RVM to use custom resources. We're just going to get rid of this. Oops. Solve any issues, and we've got description. Apparently description. That's bad. I feel like I've just every time I go off and use the GPT cookbook, I find another use for it, which is quite nice. Oh, jeez. I've used that. I've hardly done, I think. It's just me deleting stuff, isn't it? Delete all things. Yeah. I mean, that's a really important thing there, actually. If no one's seen that, wait for my stomach to shut up for a second. The integration group used to use apt-yum, Java user, our RVM wrapper, and now we just use the test cookbook and just push all the logic for dependency solving, all that stuff, down into there. So thanks very much. The unreleased blah blah blah. In fact, I probably could have just. I'm gonna put the unreleased notes. I meant to. Yeah, it's a bad description. Turns out I wrote a really good description in one of our previous commits. So scroll. Thanks very much. This is why I like writing release notes on a regular basis, because actually they are very helpful. So let's not read the README again. There's a to do in here somewhere. The attributes are going. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. No one needs that. Brilliant. And then hopefully. Hey, so we're actually using 15.9 at the moment. Well, we're requiring 15.3, but I think when we use resource partials, we require 16 or something like that. And I'm going to convert. Okay. Labels. Label it in progress. Don't know why I can't convert that PR to a. I don't know why I can't convert that PR into a draft PR, but I'm sure I'll figure out as soon as I've done it. So pull then I'm just going to make a do that. So I'm going to update that. So do some markdown funds. So this is RVM -414. So I've just opened an issue on the GPG cookbook. With our the ability to receive keys. That one is nice. Shouldn't be too hard. We've also got some examples of keys, so we can actually change the key server and things like that. Because I think we should have a default key server of juniorgpgkeys.net, because that's the place that most people use, and we can always have a key server. And then we can optionally say, like, hey, if you want to override the key server, go for it. So apparently we don't have a person frowning anymore. I do kind of want... I'm going to use the peach. Just because the peach is cool. So yeah, receive keys option. In fact, we're going to say that. Possible solution. So add that. Add the receive keys. Key server. If your command also needs command needs to optionally accept a key server or have a default to GNUPGkeys.net or whatever the default thing is. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining along today with my little ramblings. And thanks for letting me know that you actually used the RVM cookbook. It means that that the work that we're doing is not going to go to waste. Importantly, like, there's a couple of things I want to get out of this session. So things like I want to see what people are doing, and are you finding this interesting? Some of this stuff is actually not interesting. This is me just like yak shaving and hearing my stomach go crazy. So some of it's yak shaving, and some of it's kind of boring, but also kind of necessary. So I'm going to try and see if I can trim some of those weird things out. The design stuff might be interesting. I personally find the way people design cookbooks and why they particularly do things in a particular order is useful. Let me know if you find that useful. You can catch me on Twitter at Dan_web and let me know if you do or don't find that useful. Again, actually, if you're not on Twitter, do that. Sorry, if you're not on Twitter, you can get me on Slack, which I'm assuming most of the community are probably on Slack who are watching this. Again, what else we say? So we're going to probably do the GPG cookbook next Wednesday. That'll be our fun next Wednesday. Until then, have a super nice day, and